Attention, please.
And now, it's Cutter's Rockcast.
Des, I appreciate you taking the time, man, to do this, truly.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. I swear to God, every time I've seen you, you look more and more rock and roll every single time. Look at you. And for anybody listening right now, you can't see him, but I will explain. If you go watch the video, you can. Des is wearing this, is that lambskin? Is that a lambskin leather jacket?
I have no
No
idea,
idea?
to be
All right.
honest. I just grab these things out of vintage thrift stores and stuff and just pop them on. Yeah.
There you go. I love it. You are definitely the epitome of rock and roll, man, it feels like.
I'm like a Pokemon. I'm like evolving, you know? I think I'm just becoming more, I'm almost at like rock and roll Charizard. And then after that, I don't know what happens.
That's because you want fire.
Exactly.
All right. I love the rock and roll Charizard. That might be the best thing I heard all day. Thank God we're going on the weekend. I love that.
Yeah, that reminds me of like you know that band McSabbath, like the Black Sabbath
Hmm.
McDonald's band. I feel like there should be like a version of that, but they're all the core Pokemon characters. You got Bulbasaur, like Squirtle, Charizard, and they're all doing what's the? You got to pick a band for them to cover.
If Pokemon. No, I'm gonna think about that too hard. Don't do that. I'm gonna think about that too hard. I'm just
Can I
saying,
suggest?
if this band happens, I want in. That's all I'm saying.
You're in. You're
All
in.
right.
We'll dress up, but no one will know it's us. We'll be like, we'll
Hell
do
yeah.
Rage Against the Machine covers. All right,
We
done.
do Rage Against the Machine covers. We just do all Tom Morello cover. Between the two of us, we can cover the Tom Morello sound. We'll figure it out.
100%.
Dude, what is going on in the Des Rocks world right now? Speaking of nerdy stuff, you have a song out called This Land, which is the theme song for Borderlands 4, which in the gaming world is probably one of the biggest releases of the year.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's been super exciting to have that kind of platform to kick off the new album. I'm really so stoked about it.
Absolutely. So that song is a kickoff for a new album.
Yeah, it's the very first song from a new record, and there's a lot more coming out soon, and it's all leading to a 2026 album release.
Oh, that's awesome. Which
Yeah,
sounds like a long time, but then we realize we're at the end of 2025, and that's okay.
it's crazy. It's like gonna be here in 3 months. Yeah.
I know, it's wild. Your look might be evolving. Your sound is though too, but it's still kind of holding true to that sort of vibey, snarly rock and roll thing that has sort of become the Des Rocks brand. Where do you take that after sort of launching on the scene with this sort of FU attitude in a sense? Where do you take that now? With a new record coming.
Well, it's interesting. Like, my sound, I always kind of describe it as like bedroom arena rock. You know what I mean? Because I make the records in like a very DIY fashion. But the intent behind the music is very grand, in a like a an unshameful way. I love big sounds, but I also love making them in small places. And after that, where I take it, like I just think there are no rules. You know what I mean? Like I rather swing and miss big than play it safe or give people what I think they might want. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
when I'm making the music, especially records after this, it's really just like a free flowing expression, and what comes out comes out. And the only rules is that it has to be from me, and that's it.
That's a good rule to have because I guess right if that's the rule, then it's always no matter what, unapologetically yourself, and really isn't that the essence of rock and roll?
100%, man. I mean, there's so many bands today, like they all use the same exact writers and co-writers and producers, and you can hear it. You can hear that loss of self and identity, and it's really upsetting to me. So I'm just always trying to like fight the good fight, and I self-produce a lot of these records. I bring in some trusted collaborators, but not that guy who's on every record you hear. It's way more like an oddball choice. I'm getting somebody you would least expect for the collabs.
Like who? Give me an example, if you don't mind.
Man, well, on my first record, Dream Machine, I worked with Matt Wallace, who engineered all the Faith No More records.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and he had this like incredible sound to it. And he also worked on like Maroon 5. And it was a complete 180 from the Faith No More stuff. And then on this latest record, I worked with Joe Ciccarelli, who does a lot of the Morrissey records, and the Strokes records. And it's really not what you would expect sonically out of either of us, but I love that because we each kind of come to the table with a unique set of skills, and then we're forced to think outside the box and apply those skills to something different instead of just saying, "Yeah, I'm going to pull up the same guitar sound. Up, that's an orange amp, that's a Marshall stack. This preset, this preset." You know what I mean? And it's like I like having a certain sense of not knowing what you're doing and not knowing what you're going to get in the creative process.
For the record, I love my orange head and my Marshall stack. So just, you know, you're
I'm
like
not
the,
throwing shade. That's a great. I use that all over this land, so it's no
do
no
you?
shade thrown. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
you're like the third person in a row who's brought that up, and I didn't put it there to be like, hey, look at my half stack. I
Yeah.
put it there because that's where it fits in my little ass corner of the basement that I do this in. So I can go over here and grab a guitar. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but and grab a guitar and go, all right, I can crank this up for a little bit. Um, so thanks. What kind of
And
gear like? Obviously, we'll joke around with the orange and the Marshall, but like, what kind of gear? Like, that you do have while it's ever evolving, you do sort of have a specific guitar tone. How do you do it? What are you getting? Like what, what, I don't know, what little earworm got you there?
yeah, so I use a lot of DI fuzz and distortion. So like kind of here's my I didn't mean for this to be a studio tour, but
Oh, that's okay. I
here's like
like it.
my like one of my little pedal racks here, and I
Hmm.
have these all over the place. They're just like different combinations of things. And then I use a lot of Big Muff, like Big Muff straight in like that. And
Okay.
I like it going right in, no amps, no nothing. I go in bone dry and I'm clipping the entire time. Like the audio looks like a big fat blob like this. And I always say if it ain't red, it ain't right. You know what I mean? So like you can't even edit the audio because it's so gnarly and so messed up. Um, quick side note, you know how many times I've like walked over to one of those Marshall amps and tried to open it up and thought it was one of those Marshall refrigerators? Have you seen those? Have you ever seen
I
the
have.
little Marshall fridges? And I see in the green room, I go, "Oh wow, there's a fridge." I go, "No, it's an amp," and I can play through it.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
know.
I just had to.
They're the same because this is the 212, so it's the same size as
Same
that little
size, yeah.
fridge. You know how bad I want to get one just to mess with my wife and just be like, that's where I keep my you know, I don't drink a lot these days, but that's where I'll keep my it break glass in case of emergency beverage.
Yeah, I love that. You could hide. You could just replace it one day, and you could just get hide
You
whatever you want in
never
there.
know.
Yeah.
Never. I'll just keep it at my drummer's house. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, no, thank you for the studio tour though, because that's interesting to me, and I don't know how many people listening to this particular show nerd out about guitar stuff like I will, but um, to hear how different players get their sounds is always interesting to me. And if it ain't red, it ain't right. You're going in, so you're taking people I think are used to that, right? You see the Marshall stacks on stage, but in this day and age, we don't necessarily need to do that. Even that orange hat has a DI out of it. Um,
Mhm.
so you're going right into a system where you're going, this is the sound I like. I'm not distorting this with another amp at all. It's all right here, and let's get that sound, and that's what I'm cranking up.
I like it because it's so forward and front, and it's
Right.
almost like it's going to reach out of the speakers and grab you because there's so little. Oh, it's the echo. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm
There,
sorry.
there's so little in between me and the sound, so it almost ends up being hyper personal. But in a studio setting, I love to blend it with real amps and live amps, and just kind of provide a little air, a little bit more soul to it.
Okay, you did that in the studio, not live.
Oh, live, I do both. I run a
Okay.
DI out, and it's blended with my live amp as well, so it achieves the same effect that I have in the studio. Yeah. So
Now
there's
the
one right out
live
of my pedal board. Yeah.
the live band. The last time I saw you were a three piece. Is that still what you're doing?
Yeah, we're still a three-piece live. I mean, I would love to expand it one day and put together a kind of crazy new version of the show. But yeah, the whole heart and soul of Des Rocs is a three-piece.
Which is crazy. And this is why this is crazy. You're talking about how you're doing your sound. Now, I want you to hear what Des Rocs just said and now go listen to a Des Rocs song because there is so much. That's my cat. Say
Hello.
hi to Zool. Um, anyway, there's such a huge sound happening. And that's why I asked because to recreate that live, so now I know you're blending these two things because it sounds like there's four guitar players on stage.
Yeah, we're like the most stripped down and technically advanced band ever. Like we have so much going on
Nobody needs to see
stage.
your ass, Zool. Come on. Sorry.
We have so much going on stage. sonically, where like it is very stripped down at moments, but my guitar is triggering so many more things, and the signal is split so many different ways. Where live it sounds enormous, it really does. And I'll even have like a guitar that's just a quarter, like a millisecond delay ahead or behind something else, and it almost sounds like there's two guitar players.
That's I don't know, that's pretty genius actually.
Thanks.
No, no, you're welcome. Um, you get an arena because I mean you've opened some big shows, man, with that sort of thing. I mean, last time we talked, you had just done the Rolling Stone gig. It was like, you know, or maybe that was two times. Either way, whatever. It's like you've opened some gigantic and played on some huge stages to be able to pull that off and make that sound that way is really kind of mind-boggling.
Thanks, man. Well, I mean, that's really the intent of the music is like big music and the escapism of rock and roll. Like
Well,
that's
how did
really
you
my
say it at the
thing.
beginning of this? Arena rock for bedroom arena rock?
Bedroom arena rock. I also call it. Um, I refer to myself as a working class rock star sometimes. Uh,
There you go.
like it's just like I don't know. It's like very much like on stage. It's so big and so larger than life, and then off stage, it's like very much. We're like very much like every guys, like we're just like salt of the earth New Yorkers. And there's this kind of like duality in that, in the performance and the offstage thing, which also is just very symbolic of Des Rocks as a whole.
So, new record coming in 2026. This Land, which is the song on the Borderlands 4 video game, and obviously being cranked up in other places now, is going to be on that album. What else can we sort of expect when it gets put out? And I'm going to just put it out in the universe and say early 2026.
Well, yeah, I mean, what else to expect? There's a lot coming. There's going to be a whole lot of touring and shows announced soon. We recorded the whole album live as a rock band, as a three-piece,
Okay.
which was really no tricks, no copy and pasting, no nothing,
Full
no
old school.
editing, just raw. And it really shows. So the album is going to be extraordinarily intense and sonically really beautiful.
That's amazing. Now, if you're recording that way, are you Dave Grohl obviously made it such a thing about, using tape and all that, and that's how people kind of became aware of how things get recorded. What do you do? Is there a specific thing you like doing? Do you like to go to the digital, Pro Tools aspect or go kind of that old school analog route? Because the way you make everything sound, it's like there's such a, I don't know, historic look to that almost.
Thanks. I mean, it is digital. We're definitely not recording the tape. You got to be pretty rich in Dave Grohl wealth status to record the
Yeah,
tape.
it's not easy these
Um,
days.
and it's so funny because like tape has become, I feel like, so classist when you have like older rock stars preaching the benefits of tape, and it's like, okay, sure, you want to give me a budget? I'd love to work on tape, but like it's extremely expensive to get somebody to engineer it, to buy the tape, to do all those things. And to just lock out a proper studio for a significant amount of time.
Right.
Um, but I lost the original question. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh no, just you answered it. You answered it because
Oh, okay.
you
It's
guys are
digital.
kind of are still you're and again, the dichotomy of this sort of old school mentality of loud, if it ain't red, all that, but also in that new school technology way.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm all about like trying to imagine the best of both worlds. Like I love to stand on the shoulders of giants, I really do, and take inspiration from the past, but to really make it my own. Otherwise, like what's the point? Like I'm not going to recreate Led Zeppelin. I'm not going to out AC/DC. So you got to just do you, and like my influences are my influences. Like that's baked in. That's who I am. That's my DNA. And then you got to just do your own thing with it. Make something that's artistically significant to you and the larger body of rock and roll as a whole. And that's going to come from just like taking big swings with the production and getting weird and trying to make something unique.
I feel like it's been damn near a decade, not quite, but damn near a decade since we first heard the Des Rocs name. Um, It's been a minute, and you talked about earlier about being sort of the working class rock star. Reflect on that for a second, and the fact that you're still out there grinding the way that you're grinding and how you're doing it. Yet there seems to be something to show for it, which is obviously great music and big tours.
Thanks. I mean, one of my very, very first shows ever, we played to nobody in a bar. And right when we finished the show, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. That lyric came through on AC/DC.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me ever since because like what we do is not easy. It is always a struggle. if you say I'm just a fucking, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can curse on this. I'm just a guy from Long Island and I want to just play arenas and I don't know a single person in the music industry or anything. I'm just with a bunch of guys who live in the shadow of New York City. We don't know nothing. We don't know anyone. And it is a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. You know, like nobody in Metallica is my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a struggle, but like, that's what makes it so worthwhile, knowing that it's effervescent. It could be gone at any moment. That's why every second on stage, we play it like it's our last show ever. Every single show, it's so precious to us because we know what it's like to lose it. We know we can lose it at any second, and we're just so grateful to be there. We really are. Like we are just so happy that we're like three bozos from New York who actually get to do this. And then it all pours out on stage, like a lifetime of playing to nobody, a lifetime of driving all night in a van and not sleeping for 3 days. You know what I mean? A lifetime of that. It pours out. And I wear it as a badge of honor. I really do. And I always will.
That's amazing. Des Rocs, This Land is out now. Go check out the video too. It's badass. Um, and yeah, new album next year. No more touring. I wish we had something specific we could say, but that's okay. Not yet. We will.
Soon.
Absolutely. Des Rocs, thank you so much for this, man. I truly appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Cutter's Rockcast.
Don't forget to tune in.
Exactly.